You already know what it is. If you are new, my name is Elodie. It rhymes with melody. I rhyme all the time. I really want to come up with a new intro. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Just does not cut it anymore. I've been doing that for 3 years and I'm bored. Today, as you saw by the title, I am going to be talking all about starting your self-love journey, how I started my self-love journey, tips for you to start your self-love journey, how to have more self-love, and practical tips. I'm going to give you a pep talk, but I'm also going to give you steps that you can follow in your daily life and incorporate in your daily life, because I feel like when I watch a lot of these videos, including my own, might add, I'll give you a pep talk but then no practical things to live by, and I'm trying to actually incorporate that in more of my videos. First of all, if you are new, you're like, babe, you got 2 videos, get a grip. No, I have another channel. If you want to know all about why I created this new channel, you can watch my first video. It'll be here. Please let it be here. I really think it's here. I always get it wrong, but I think she's there. But this channel is basically all about self-development, advice, and faith. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure you stick around and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, period. Join the family. I just really wanted to use this video as the starting point, the introduction to all things self-love that I will be talking about on this channel. And I think it's good to start with the basics. We'll narrow it down as we go along. I have loads and loads and loads of notes, literally, oh my goodness. Yeah, I wrote a lot. I really wanted to give you guys everything you possibly can to start your self-love journey. If you want to know more, however, I'm just going to quickly plug myself before it starts. I know I won't. I have my own business called the InfluenceHER. If self-development is your thing, I feel like you really would like that page, so make sure you follow it so you can find out more, period. So before I dive deep into how to start your self-love journey, I think it is vital for me to actually explain to you what self-love really is. What does self-love mean to an individual person? How does that help them? I identified self-love as doing things to help your mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. This is putting yourself first, valuing yourself, figuring out what type of things you need to work on. It is all about the heart and the spirit and your inner self, not about what you can display to the world, because I feel like self-love is this thing where you need to show off how much self-love you have. The media will almost tell you that if you're not a rich influencer, has all the money in the world to spend on pampering sets, on holidays, then you can't do it. We have to understand that self-love is something that no one can see, and you need to be at the center of everything you do for your self-love journey, because you will not find peace, you will not find your worth, you will not find validation from yourself if you think that it's about how other people perceive you. It is not. Also, I wrote down about how there's a misconception that self-love is something that you master straight away. It's a journey. It's not something that you can figure out in a day when you read a book or do a face mask. No. I think that will discourage a lot of people, and they'll be like, well, what is the point in me even trying, because it's going to take ages. I feel like that's a good thing that it doesn't happen overnight, because you're not forcing yourself to make it happen overnight, and you need to give yourself time to slowly adjust to habits that you make according to your self-love journey. So for me, for instance, I want to start reading my Bible more, because for me, self-love journey is me connecting with God, because that's where I find my peace and my identity. But it's not going to happen overnight where I'm reading a chapter a day, or praying all the time, or being a perfect Christian. It's not going to happen overnight, and if I put that expectation on myself, it becomes robotic and not organic. Growth is an organic thing. Give yourself time to flourish at your own pace. It depends on what things you've gone through, what type of things you're trying to fix, what type of habits you're trying to create. It really is individual to you. And because of this, I strongly disagree with you setting time-driven goals to achieve. You can set a time-driven goal for your business, for amount of money you want to make, for education, for grades, things like that. But when it comes to your inner self, never give yourself a time to achieve something, because as I said, it is an organic thing. You have to accept the beauty of your mind, your spirit, your emotional well-being adjusting at its own rate. If you force it, you'll become stressed out, burnt out, you will want to give up, you won't even see the value of self-love because you're forcing these things to happen perfectly. So an example of you setting like a time-driven goal may be like, I want to be confident by February of 2021, right? That's a good goal to set, but you shouldn't set it for a time. Just set the goal. I want to be confident. And actually, an important thing to do, don't say I want to be confident. Write down I am confident. I have self-love. I have value. Why do I say I am, not I want or I will? Because you're training your mind to accept something in the present. You have to understand the power of your words and how your words will change your mind. And a lot of people don't see that. But what happens when you speak negatively on yourself? What happens when you say, oh, I'm so stupid, I can't do this, I'll never be able to achieve XYZ? You're literally setting your brain up to believe it. Your brain hears these things and your brain takes it in. So if your negative self-talk does all of that or affects how you feel about yourself, imagine how good positive things will impact you. And you could even turn this into like daily affirmations and write them down and say it. So these may be your goals, but you may want to look back on your goals every day. Identify your journey for yourself. Oh, this person's starting their self-love journey, let me just do everything that they do, or try and achieve every goal that they've set. But you have to understand that what you've gone through, the thoughts that you have, what you're trying to work on is completely unique to every other person. For instance, you may want to start your self-love journey because you have insecurities. You may want to start your self-love journey because you just came out of a toxic relationship. You may want to start your self-love journey because you want to get closer to God. All of those things are different, therefore require different journeys, require different habits. So it is completely unique to you. And I think that is a beautiful thing because it allows you to create something that is your own. This is your journey. How you want to do it is no one else's business. As long as it's benefiting you in a positive way, no one can tell you anything. Work at your own pace. Do things how you want to do it. And also I think it's important to note that your journey may change depending on what stage of life you're in. Just give yourself permission to be free. Say, wherever the wind takes me, that is what I will focus on, you know? Okay, so now we've kind of broken down like the ground rules, the things to keep in mind as you do your self-love journey. I now want to go on to the practical things that you can include. Obviously, there is so many different things that you can do. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a basis that you can start on, some things that I do, some things that I think will help you. So the first thing is to improve your mental diet. And this is the same as when we want to go on a normal diet for our body. So you may cut off certain foods that are unhealthy and incorporate more healthy foods to help us reach the health goal or the weight goal that we're trying to achieve, right? That is the exact same as your mental state and what goes into your brain, what goes into your spirit. So I want you to think of your inner self as a body and every single thing that it consumes. So every single thing that it watches, it listens to, it reads, it speaks, has an impact on the inner self. And these things either act as nutrition and health, or they are unhealthy and cause you to feel demotivated, may affect your mental health. And I think when you're aware of those things, you will want to consume things daily that have a positive impact on you, that help you get to the person that you want to be. Also, you'll want to cut off certain things that have a negative impact on you. So for instance, we all know the main culprit is social media. So you may want to cut back on your social media use and find something else that is going to be nutrition to your soul. And also, I think it is a good thing to acknowledge the good parts of social media. So a lot of people's Explorer pages are just random, right? But if you like things on your Explorer page that you want to see again and that are positive, if you keep liking posts like that, your Explorer page will begin to adjust to what you look at. So for me, I have a lot of encouraging quotes, a lot of Christian things that just help me feel more light and not weighed down by like the typical things you see on social media. And also an example of what I do is I try and cut down on like Netflix. Really and truly, I love my Netflix shows. I will not stop watching Netflix, but a lot of them are depressing and they aren't necessarily providing me with encouragement. So I may watch more sermons. I may listen to more podcasts. I may try and find things that uplift me. And to be honest, I love watching sermons, and if you find things that you actually enjoy that actually have a positive impact, that will be the best thing you can do. Try to find entertaining things. I'm not saying you sit down there in a dark room with your Bible and just try and have fun. If the Holy Spirit works through you, you're going to have fun. But if you are someone who needs a bit of inspiration, you may not be Christian, but just an example, find some preachers, some sermons that really light your fire and make you want to binge watch. Like if you need something to binge watch and you're a Christian and you haven't watched it before, Mike Todd Relationship Goals, he's got a whole series, and then he's got a new series, Relationship Goals Reloaded. You will just want to binge watch those things because he's funny, because he teaches you so many things. No one is telling you that you can't have fun. Have fun as you do it. If you're not a Christian, find a motivational video, find a YouTuber that talks about things that you're trying to work on. I also wrote down some other things that you can do to help your mental diet. So this could be finding good podcasts, reading some books, having inspiring conversations with friends or family members about things that you enjoy or your journey, what you are currently working on. And also you can write down and read out daily affirmations. If you're a Christian, you can read your Bible, you can do Bible study. If you are a Christian and you want to know like certain things that you can do, I've got a video on my old channel which is here. I think it's here about like my morning routine with God, and those are like a lot of activities that I like to do that keep it fun and fresh, you know? The next thing is to find environments that encourage you to grow and not dry up. And I like to use this metaphor a lot because I think it holds so much power. And this is, think of yourself as a sunflower seed. You have all that potential to grow and do amazing things, yet the environment you're in is gloomy and discouraging. So you may have really toxic friendships. You may be around people that discourage you. You may have people that don't want you to grow, because that's the thing. There are some people that you surround yourself with that don't want you to break out of the box you're in right now, because they don't want you to compete with them. They don't want you to go a level up. And those gloomy and discouraging things don't take away the value that you have as a seed. Your seed still has potential and value regardless of what environment it's placed in. It still has that intrinsic value. It's still worth and still has the ability to do amazing things. It just shows that you need to be in the correct environment for those potentials or those dreams to become a reality. This may mean not settling for less in friendships. This may mean not allowing people to take advantage of you, even if you care about them. You know, we have a lot of people around us that we love and we value, but they make us feel bad. It may be a relationship that you're in. You love the person. That does not take away from what they've done to you. It's important to note that you can love from a distance and you can love without people affecting your mental state, because as I said, self-love, it's about you. Stop trying to put toxic people ahead of your own mental state. If they're not good for you, cut it off, sis. As you begin to put yourself first and you begin to focus on your needs, these things will come natural. If you can, that's great. But don't try and cut people off if you aren't there yet, because it's going to be hard. And I think it's always about that thing of being transformed from the inside out. That is a very Christian thing to say, but stick with me. If you work on yourself from the inside out and you focus on yourself, you naturally will begin to change your environment. You naturally will begin to cut off certain people and bring in new people that help you. If you try and do it the other way around, it may, as I said, feel robotic. Make sure that you are doing something organic every single time. Give yourself time to adjust. You're gonna have to do it. you're gonna have to cut them off. So the next thing is to practically organize your time. I think this is probably the one thing you need to note when you start this self-love journey, because we have all of these dreams. We get motivated. You may watch this video and be like, yeah, I'm gonna start the self-love journey. I am a new me. This is a new breakthrough moment. But then you don't plan your time out, you get overwhelmed, and you get back into the old habits. No, baby girl, we're not going to do that. I'm not going to be giving you all this motivation, all these juicy tips for you to walk away with no structure. We need structure. And I need... If this video is for anyone, it is for me, because I have a very big habit of not structuring things. I think I'm good with structuring my self-love, but I'm not so great at structuring my business and what I need to do and when I need to do it. So, Elodie, listen to this. Don't not practice what you preach. Give the people a good example. So yeah, we often create a dream, and in this case it is having good self-love. And then it stays exactly that, a dream, because we don't materialize it. We don't create good habits and realistic habits for us to stick by. And a tip for this, probably the most obvious tip, is to get a planner and structure your self-love journey or self-love habits around your job, your education, you know, things that you need to do. Structure around that. So you've got school or college from 9 to 3, and then you have to do homework for 2 hours. So maybe before you go to bed, or from 5 p.m. to 6 a.m. you listen to a podcast. I don't know what podcast goes from 5 p.m. to 6 a.m. I meant p.m. And this will give you the opportunity to not become overwhelmed with the bigger picture. I always go back to what Will Smith said in this video that I watched about stop thinking about building the whole house. Think about putting that one brick on at a time. So this, me listening to this podcast, is me building that one brick. Let me focus on this podcast, and I'm just focusing on this podcast. I'm not going to focus on my self-love journey as a whole. I need to do this and this and this and this and this and this to build up my self-worth. I need to do this and this and this and this and this to feel better about myself. Focus on that brick, that one brick. Because if you focus on that one brick is going to be laid effectively. That one brick is going to enhance you tremendously. But if you're overwhelmed and distracted by many things, you begin to see it as a chore, and then it doesn't actually, again, work organically. That is such a key word in this video. Structure things in realistically. That is another thing. And I have a habit of this. I have a massive habit of this. I write down loads and loads and loads of things that I want to do in that day that could have been spread out over the week. But no, I get motivated, I get inspired, which is good. Keep that motivation, that inspiration. But don't then pile up your planner. You need to do little snippets, especially when it comes to self-love, because there is no deadline. Give yourself time, little and often, quality over quantity. Do not overwhelm yourself. Don't make it a homework thing or like you're studying for a degree in uni. Okay, and the last thing is to be comfortable with facing the uncomfortable. Because I think a lot of people start their self-love journey and think that it's this cute aesthetic thing to do. We're just going to have to stop right there. I'm not trying to demotivate you or stop you from starting it, because it is the best thing you can ever do. But just know, no journey has no bumps in the road. No journey has no obstacles that you have to cross. You're going to have to accept that there are going to be things that you're not going to like. Think of your mind as like a trash can in a way. Like, bear with me, girl. As life has continued on, you've had loads of rubbish chucked in that bin. It's been piled up and it's weighing you down. When you begin your self-love journey, you will begin to chuck in positive things. And that's a good thing, because the positive things will drown out the negative things. It will, say for instance, you pour loads of water, all the trash is going to come out. And then you're going to be left with positivity. However, as you're pouring in the positivity, these things are going to drop out. So that means you're going to notice it, because it's been buried in that trash can. You're going to notice it come out. If you suppress it, you're then pushing it down and pushing the water back out. The positive, lovely, encouraging water, and you're pushing back in the dark, feelings and thoughts that you have, because that's how physics works. I only got a 4, a C, a low C at that. But I know how physics works. When you push things out, the water will come out, baby girl. You have to accept it when it falls out that trash can. Let's not think of it as a trash can. That would imply that your brain is a trash can. Let's think of it as just a big bowl or a big cylinder. Because a trash can, that's like not very nice, is it? These things will happen naturally, organically. The positive then causes the negative to come out. Same with your self-love journey. It's organic, the fact that you are working on yourself, and bad things are going to pop out. Don't sit down before even starting your self-love journey and thinking, right, what bad things have happened to me that I can pick out? There may be things that you will instantly be able to pick out, and if you can deal with it, then good for you. But a lot of things are so deeply ingrained in you that you won't even realize it until you start working on yourself. And that is when it's organic, because you're not forcing it to happen. I'll give you an example. I'm a very, very dedicated and goal-driven person, to the point where I will be so intensely focused that I will go on survival mode and block out all emotions. Which is funny because I'm a very emotional person, and then that causes me to bottle those heavy emotions up and become very intense, to the point where I will burn out and I will get extreme anxiety, I will feel tired, I will lash out, I will maybe have a panic attack and things like that. However, now I am learning, I'm not fully there yet, but I am learning that I can express my emotions whilst being motivated, driven, and dedicated, you know? And in fact, it actually helps me become more productive, because I'm dealing with the emotions when it comes, rather than suppressing it, which makes me stressed out and actually causes me not to want to do any work, because my brain is going crazy. Be aware of your needs all the time, because that will help you be so much more productive in everything else that you're doing. That is basically it of this video. I could have said so much more about things that you can do to help yourself, but I think this is like a good foundation, and we can always build on it in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.